Hey, what is going on, guys? It's your boy John, aka Spiros here, and today I'm bringing you guys an Apex Legends a loadout tip video. These are the 3 loadouts that I run the most and I think are just the overall best. I am going to rank them. The way that I'm going to be ranking these loadouts are for newer players to more experienced players, and by newer I mean people that are just new to FPSs and, you know, new to the controller, maybe don't have as good of aim, and the more experienced players are obviously going to be the players that are, you know, FPS veterans and have extremely good aim, because the loadouts that I'm going to suggest are, you know, a lot of it is based off of accuracy, and that's kind of what makes the more experienced loadout just a little bit better than the loadouts for the newer players, and I'll go into it in depth in my video explaining why that is. But before we get into the tips, if you guys haven't already dropped a like, I would very much appreciate that. Sub if you guys are new around here, and let's just get right into the loadouts. The very first weapon that I'm going to suggest that you guys carry, this is going to be the secondary for every single one of these loadouts, is going to be a shotgun. The Peacekeeper is going to be the shotgun that I'm going to be showcasing in this video. This is the one that I run the most. The Peacekeeper does 110 damage to the body and 165 to the head, which is extremely devastating, especially considering the max amount of health that you can have is 200, being 100 base health plus 100 shield. A well-placed Peacekeeper shot has the ability to take a player out in one pump, which is absolutely insane. But anyway, that is going to be for the more experienced players. I highly recommend that you guys use the Peacekeeper. If you guys do not have very good aim in like close quarters combat, you know, in situations like that, you get flustered easily, I highly recommend that you guys use the EVA 8 shotgun, which is still an absolute monster. It does 63 damage to the body and 90 damage to the head. And if you guys pair this with the level 3 shotgun bolt, this gun shoots extremely fast. Keep in mind, this is a full auto shotgun, so do not try to like tap fire it. Just hold down the trigger and just try to place your shots as good as possible. It is really, really effective. If I cannot find a Peacekeeper, I am 100% going to run the EVA 8. Now with the secondaries out of the way, I'm going to go into the primaries. For the less experienced player, I'm going to recommend that you run a Spitfire LMG. Mag size default on the Spitfire is 35 bullets in a magazine, which is a lot compared to a lot of other weapons in this game, and it has one of the highest damage outputs for full auto weapons. It does 20 to the body and 40 to the head. This mag, I believe, can get into the 40s, maybe 60 range, depending on what, you know, level magazine that you guys have equipped. So that makes it extremely effective, especially in, you know, 1v3 situations, not having to reload. This gun does not have very much recoil, in my opinion. It's really easy to compensate for it. I think this weapon's best paired with the open-aired 2x scope. That's just my opinion. Obviously, sights and stuff like that is all up to the user. So for the newer players that maybe don't have precise aim and may miss a few shots, I highly recommend that you guys run the Spitfire LMG with the EVA 8 shotgun. That is my newer player loadout, and I think you guys will have a lot of success. Something to note is that the M600 Spitfire does use heavy ammo, which is usually readily available. I know ammo is kind of one of those things in this game that you can't really find a lot of. Moving on to like an intermediate level loadout. Now this loadout is intermediate because you do have to land your shots a little bit more because the weapon is not full auto. But the weapon that I'm going to suggest here for intermediate players, you know, that have pretty good aim is going to be the Hemlock Burst AR. This does run on heavy ammo again. It does a ton of damage for being a burst weapon. It does 18 to the body and 36 to the head, which 36 to the head is the second highest out of any, you know, AR or LMGs. With a mag size of 18, it is a little bit, you know, on the lower side, but it's because it's a burst AR, you know, you'll be able to place your shots a lot more consistently. And the cool thing about it being a burst is that the recoil is mostly vertical. So, you know, if you aim mid chest, a lot of times you'll land the first shot in the chest doing 18 damage, then the second shot in the upper chest doing 18, and then the third shot, the recoil usually bounces all the way up to their head, which then does 36. So it does an awful lot of damage. I recommend that you guys pair this weapon. Obviously, if you're an intermediate player, I recommend that you run the Peacekeeper and try to get good with it. It's kind of the meta right now, especially with all the CQB going on, like close quarters combat and stuff like that. But the attachment that I really like on this gun is going to be the 3X. I honestly have run this gun 2 ways. I've run it in burst form, which is highly effective, and for most players, that's what I would recommend. But if you want to try to get a little bit more technical with it, a little bit more accurate, and kind of get a little crazy, you can put it on single fire. It's actually really, really effective. You'd be surprised. You can get that thing almost to full auto with a good trigger finger. But guys, that's going to do it for my intermediate class setup. And then for the most advanced players, the most skilled, the people that can land their shots consistently, in my opinion, this is probably the best loadout for you, and it does probably the most damage out of any of the weapons in this class. It's going to be the R301. It is a light ammo type weapon, but it is absolutely a monster. This is the gun that I try to run almost every game for a few reasons. The reason I do it is because the R301 falls under the assault rifle category despite being a light ammo weapon. Therefore, it gets the 2x headshot multiplier. So to the body, the R301 only does 14 damage, which is really underwhelming. But when you consider the fire rate that is attached with the weapon, it's kind of, you know, it kind of balances it out because it has an extremely fast fire rate with almost no recoil. So it does 14 to the body and it does 28 to the head, which is kind of crazy when you consider the fire rate on the weapon and the fact that it has no recoil. If you guys are a more experienced player that has extreme accuracy, the R301 is definitely going to be your best bet. If you can land consistent headshots, if you get the level 3 light mag that gives you around 28 shots in a clip with the 301, this gun has the ability to melt people in one clip. But yeah, that's why I say this gun is kind of for more advanced players, is because the 14 to the body really is not that much damage. It would take like, you know, a mag and a half or so to down a player with decent armor. That's why I say you have to be extremely precise with the gun, because if you can get that 28 to the head and you can consistently land headshots, it's kind of insane how fast people will go down. That's why I recommend you pair this gun with like a 3x or a higher zoom optic, because it will really allow you to place your shots a lot easier. This is the gun that I have been maining the most. Obviously, I don't have the best of aim, but I'm pretty good and it still works for me. I would consider myself an intermediate player. Yeah, guys, I hope this video helped you out a little bit, kind of giving you guys some options to work with, kind of the best loadouts. I really do believe that you have to pair every one of these weapons with a shotgun. This game is heavily dominated by shotguns at the moment, so you're kind of at a disadvantage if you don't have one. But I appreciate you guys sticking through the whole video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to drop a like on the video, sub to the channel if you guys are new around here, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
And we're gonna let it